Hey guys, welcome back to Hike Oregon. We are here in this kind of makeshift shelter on the Princess Tasha Trail. It's on the Oregon coast. So we were expecting warm and sunny day today, but instead it decided to rain on us. But we're gonna do it anyway. Here's my 4,000 subscriber question and answer video.
Drew Grove asks, what are your thoughts on the GoPro line of cameras?
I think GoPros are great for like fast moving sports. GoPro cameras are not really great for filming hikes and that kind of thing, especially because they it's a fisheye lens, so it like distorts everything. It makes the forest look weird, it makes the mountain look weird, it's gonna make everything look kind of odd, but it's great for any sort of fast moving sports. Surfing, skateboarding, snowboarding, skiing, anything like that is going to be really awesome.
Beth Wise asks, I'm on the lookout for some good hiking pants and was wondering if you have any favorites or maybe a top 3.
Well, I will show, these are the REI, oh gosh, what are they called? Let me tell you. These pants are from REI and they are like a nylon spandex polyester blend, and they're water resistant, but to me they're actually better than like rain pants. They're more waterproof to me than rain pants, and because they're breathable, it doesn't make you sweat like rain pants where you're gonna just be soaked anyway from the inside. So these are really awesome. So these I wear in the winter over leggings. The leggings I have on right now are my favorite, and unfortunately they no longer make them. They're from Reebok, but they no longer make this kind of legging, but you can find pretty much any thicker legging from any brand. Lululemon. There's a bunch of leggings that you can get. I would just make sure to get something on the thicker side, something that's quote-unquote squat proof, so you're not seeing like your butt through the leggings. You know, any sort of thicker leggings, and they'll keep you warm too and make sure that they're wicking, so stay away from like cotton based leggings. And then for shorts, I really like the Nike Pro shorts, the tight ones. Those are my favorite.
Burberry asks, do you do any other forms of working out aside from hiking?
Yes. I only hike once a week, so that's to me not enough exercise. I have to exercise pretty much every day. I love anything beach body, so I am a total beach body nerd. I have done numerous of their programs. I've done Insanity, P90X, T25, and right now I'm doing 80-Day Obsession. So that's pretty much every day for about an hour.
Silver Journey asks, what are some channels you follow and why? I'm
assuming you're talking about hiking channels. I follow a lot of YouTubers that aren't even remotely related to hiking, but I'm assuming you mean hiking. I watch Juliana Chauncey, and then Homemade Wanderlust, of course, Dixie. Been following her for a while, and then Darwin from Darwin on the Trail. And you asked why? I don't know. I feel like they have good information and good insight on long distance hiking.
Cesar Lopez asks, have you done any cross-country skiing?
Yeah, so when I was younger, my dad used to take me cross-country skiing. I always hated it. I just feel like it's not worth the effort. I never learned how to do that, you know, that type of skiing where you don't have to be in a track. I was only able to do the track skiing, and at that point I wish I was just snowshoeing, because the effort to do that is just so much more than you're not going very fast. So I wasn't ever able to learn the non-track cross-country skiing, which if you know how to do that, you can actually go anywhere at quite a nice speed, which is nice, but I don't like it.
Isla Carpenter asks, if you can succeed like you plan to, or on track to, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
So Isla is talking about my plan that I have for Hike Oregon, just as a backstory. And if you don't know what that is, I'll link the video. 5 years, gosh, that's a long time. But in 5 years, I would love to have a home somewhere, but then in the summertime, like, you know, spring, summer, fall, like the 6 to 7 months or so of the year, I would like to be traveling, hopefully in like a van of some sort, around Oregon, and just scouting all the hikes and, you know, basically working on Hike Oregon remotely from those various places and checking out all the hikes around Oregon, and then of course in the winter, early spring, come back home and hang out and write about all those hikes that I went on in those 7 months. And so that's kind of what I would like to be doing. I would have liked to publish a few more books and also gone on a few more long distance hikes by then as well.
Bob Kress asks, have you ever had an encounter with a bear or a mountain lion while on a hike?
Not like a direct encounter. I've seen bear in Oregon while hiking, but it hasn't been like an encounter. They didn't see me, they walked away. I've seen a dead baby cougar on a trail, but that's not an encounter either. So other than that, I have not.
Matthew Howell asks, best piece of gear that you own?
So guys, it's what I'm sitting on right now. I will show you. It's the Thermarest Z Seat. It folds up like this, really, really small. Can just be stuffed in your backpack, and then you just sit on it. This thing, I swear, I got this, what, like a year ago? And I don't know why everyone doesn't have one. It is like the best thing ever. You can sit anywhere. You're not gonna get wet. It saves you from the cold. It just makes having lunch so much more comfortable, and I think everyone should go get one.
Haley Collins asks, I am researching and planning to move to the Pacific Northwest in August. I want to live near as many national parks and beautiful nature spots as possible. I don't want to live in a huge city, but also not too small. Do you have any suggestions on areas I should check out?
Well, the Pacific Northwest, I'm just going to keep it to Oregon because I'm not super familiar with what Washington has to offer. I mean, I know Washington has so much nature and beautiful areas to offer, but as far as towns and cities, I'm not really familiar with that. So yeah, so in Oregon, we actually, just as far as I know, we have one national park. We have a ton of state parks and state recreational areas, but as far as national park, basically just Crater Lake. But there's beautiful, I mean, it doesn't have to be a national park for it to be amazing. And honestly, national parks are really expensive to recreate at, so I would probably stay away from them. And there's going to be a ton of people too. So it really depends on what you're looking for climate-wise. Like Eugene, Salem, Portland area, it's all going to be kind of wet and gray, but you're gonna get the beautiful green forests and moss and just that kind of beauty. Lots of rivers and creeks and streams to hike near. You're also very close to the coast, which is great. If you want more of a rugged, mountainous and dry terrain, then you would go east and you would go to Bend. Bend is probably the biggest town east of the Cascades. It's growing quite rapidly, so housing there is not affordable and hard to find. So good luck with that. You could live in a trailer or something if that's what you're into. That's actually relatively cheap over there, but as far as housing, it's hard to find in Bend. If you live in Bend, you will have access within 15 to 20 minutes of some of the most scenic trails in Oregon. If you live in Eugene and Portland, as well as Salem, you do have to drive a little bit further, likely 45 minutes to an hour to get to a beautiful trail, but the towns are going to be bigger, housing is going to be a little easier to find, and jobs are going to be more readily available as well.
M. Golden asks, what type of stretches do you do before or after a hike to help prevent stress injuries?
That's a great question. I do have a video all about preventing plantar fasciitis, which is something that I am plagued with from time to time. So I do a lot of like leg stretching. Obviously you don't really use much of your upper body when hiking. Now, if you are using trekking poles, though, I have found that is quite the upper body workout, and I was very sore after using trekking poles. So you might want to do some like back stretches and stuff, especially if you're climbing and using trekking poles. That's when you're going to use your upper back. But I generally just do a lot of like leg stretching. I can insert some pictures here. But, you know, just make sure to stretch out the hamstrings, because that's going to pull through your calf and your Achilles heel, which is, again, another injury that can plague a lot of hikers, is Achilles problems. So, and if that's tight, that can make your plantar fascia tight, and you just don't want to get into problems like that. So just make sure you're stretching your legs, you know, during your hike, and then of course afterwards too.
Jason from Pacific Northwest Adventures and Gear Reviews asks, if you could do any one of the Triple Crown hikes, which one would you choose? Also, any collaboration plans with other YouTube channels, Dixie or Darwin?
Let's answer that last question first. I don't think Dixie and Darwin know who the heck I am, so probably no collaborations with them, because yeah, they probably have no idea who I am or have ever seen my channel, so no collaborations planned with them. Triple Crown, I would really only be interested in the Pacific Crest Trail. I have no interest in doing the CDT or the Appalachian Trail, so PCT all the way.
Sonia Conrads asks, what hike are you most excited about in the Bend area?
Gosh, that's really hard. There's a ton of hikes that I want to do when I'm over there. I've already done the Deschutes River Trail, but I know it's so beautiful, and I can't wait to do that one again, so I'm looking forward to doing that. And then I've also done this one before, but it was on a mountain bike, the Paulina Lake loop. That's so beautiful. And then going up to Paulina Peak, I would like to do as well. I'm sure from there you can just see like everything. I'm sure that's just amazing. So yeah, those three are really like on my bucket list. Of course, I'm gonna do a ton of other hikes, but still gotta research on what the priorities are when I'm over there.
Robert B asks, what type of hiking do you enjoy most, solo or group?
I would say neither. For me, there's a happy medium. I prefer hiking with like 1 or 2 people. 3 at the most, but at that point it's more like a group hike. But yeah, I prefer the smaller get-togethers, just where you can hike and still like have a conversation with everyone, where you're not like, I'm in front and then 5 people back, I have no idea what they're saying or can't be part of the conversation, that kind of thing. So I prefer like, you know, 1, 2, maybe 3 people.
Christine Machado from This Girl Hikes asks, if there was one place that you could travel to for a backpacking trip, all realities of expense and vacation time aside, where would you go?
Definitely New Zealand. Hi, Christine. I hope we can collab again soon.
Rufus Earl asks, what type of music do you like? Do you like grunge music that came from that area?
No, I don't. Grunge music. No, I'm not a fan of grunge music. I mean, I listen to pretty much, I don't know. I'm like a all genres type person. It really depends on what mood I'm in. I like jazz. I like classical. I like old-timey stuff, you know, like Ray Charles and all that kind of good stuff. Old blues. I just love that stuff. I don't really like any sort of modern music. I feel like modern pop and that kind of thing is, I don't know, it's not my jam. I also really like, probably my favorite band is called Al Jawala. They're a band I discovered in Germany actually, and they were street musicians when I discovered them, and now they're pretty big time over there in Europe. So, and their type of music is like Balkan. I guess they call themselves Balkan Big Beats. So it's like big band sound, but they play Balkan music. So I would insert some clips, but copyright issues. So I can link them here and you can go check them out.
Barry Hugo asks, do you ever do any off-trail or wilderness hiking?
No, just for the fact of leave no trace. When you go off the trail, you are disturbing the flora and fauna, and I choose to not do that.
Hiking with 1-2 asks, if someone were going to take a vacation in Oregon to hike, what would be your suggestions for the best hikes?
Well, I thought about this a little bit, and my suggestion would be a loop car trip, basically, to get in all of the best hikes. If you're flying into Portland, you might as well go to Mount Hood, check out something there. Ramona Falls there is really awesome because you get views of Mount Hood and an amazing waterfall. So I would definitely check out Silver Falls State Park. That is a must. After Silver Falls, I would go to Bend and check out that area, preferably in the summer. It's best during that time. Just beautiful, beautiful hikes. And then I would head over to the coast and check out some coastal hikes. So if you do a big loop like that, and then from the coast you can head back up to Portland if that's where you're flying out of. But if you do a loop like that, you are guaranteed to hit some amazing gems. Should work for Oregon tourism.
Jim Rogers asks, what is the longest day hike you have ever done, and how far do you think you would feel comfortable hiking on a day hike? Curious to learn how you feel about hikers pushing themselves to test their limits.
I don't think there's anything wrong with testing your abilities. Would I do that on a through hike? Probably not. I would be afraid of getting injured and not being able to complete my through hike. So I wouldn't really do any like weird challenges like that. I don't think that's necessary. The longest hike I've ever done, I can link it. I have a video. I did 20 miles around Waldo Lake, and that was by 3 miles or so the longest hike I had done. The previous I had done like a 17.3 miler, and that was pushing myself. I would say that was pushing myself, but I think with the right shoes and a little bit more training, I could easily do a 30 miler. I don't think that's out of the question.
Patrick Lachelle asks, what is your least favorite part of hiking?
I would say trying to find a hike is my least favorite part of hiking. I have a few. Trying to find a hike when the weather isn't really playing along, or like there's snow in higher elevations and it's harder to find a hike, then I can get frustrated. But I also don't like when it's raining because then I can't take pictures. But that's not really like the hike's fault. Here's one. When I'm expecting a view, like especially on a uphill climb of some sort, and like I'm pretty sure there's gonna be a view and then there's no view. That is like my biggest annoyance ever. Yeah, that, oh my gosh, that's annoying.
My Life 88 Dior asks, how many pounds do you carry for backpacking for 4 days?
Well, my base weight does not change whether I'm going for 4 days or 40 days. It's basically just the food that would change. But yeah, my current base weight, I'm kind of mixing up, or I'm kind of changing up some gear right now, so don't have a like certain calculation on base weight, but it's somewhere around 14 to 15 pounds right now, so that wouldn't change. I mean, of course, if I'm like winter camping or something, it would change, but if I'm going in the summer, it's gonna be the same regardless if I'm going for 4 or 40 nights. Doesn't matter. It's still gonna be around 14 to 15 pounds.
Daniel John Ford. When did you start your channel, and did you ever imagine it going this far?
I started my channel not last summer, but the summer before, so a year and a half ago. Did I imagine it going this far? I honestly thought I'd be way further than I am at this point. It has tested my patience for sure, to keep going, even with the little amount of subscribers that I have. It definitely was like, oh, do I keep going? Do I not? I honestly thought that within a year I would, you know, have 10,000 subscribers or something like that, but
Yeah. The good part is all of my subscribers are totally awesome. And I still have some of you who have been watching me from the beginning. So that's what I like about the whole YouTube thing.
Thank you so much for sticking with me on this rainy day. And again, thank you so much for 4,000 subscribers. I so appreciate all of you. If you have any other questions, I keep track of the questions that you guys ask. So if you have any questions for a future Q&A, you can just put them in the comments below and I will answer them next time. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you on the next adventure.